Welcome to 2016 Presidential Candidate Interviews. Today I am interviewing Stephen Childs. He is running as a Libertarian. Hello, Mr. Childs, and welcome to the interview.
Yeah, hello there.
How are you doing today?
I am doing outstanding right now. And yourself?
I'm doing good, too. All right, let's give the listeners an opportunity to get to know you. I'm going to ask some just very simple icebreaker questions. Describe your family.
Say that again, sir?
Describe your family.
Oh, describe. I grew up in a middle-class American family. My dad was a roughneck, and my mom was a housewife. And it was really great. But, sometime back in the 1980s, that disappeared. Moms couldn't stay home with kids no more. They all both had to work just to pay the bills. Gotten worse since. So that's it. I grew up in middle-class America.
Okay. Describe your employment and your work experience.
My background in work experiences, environmental and social activism. I did work on some Superfund size cleaning. I also worked with neighborhoods, getting neighborhoods cleaned up. I'd like to do a lot more things, especially about affordable housing. It's a big issue with me.
What are your hobbies and interests?
The environment, quality of life in America, and bodybuilding.
Okay. Your favorite places to eat out, restaurants?
Buffets.
Okay.
Absolutely. If this is an all-you-can-eat buffet, my plate is ready for a refill.
All right. Do you have any favorite fast food joints?
I'm going to have to say Burger King on this one.
Okay. Favorite junk food?
Burger King is my favorite fast food. My favorite junk food. Now, this is it's a misnomer. Pizza. But pizza's not really a junk food. It's got all kinds of good stuff in it.
Maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
So pizza it is.
All right. Favorite TV shows and movies?
My kind of movies? I like action, adventure, sci-fi things.
Right. Any pets?
Nope, not this time.
Okay. And the final question. Name a song that you consider a life anthem, a motto, something that represents who you are.
It's a country western song. I think it's something like Compliments of the USA. And it's a red, white, and something like that. That's a good one.
I think that's Toby Keith. Compliments of the red, white, and blue.
Yeah, Toby Keith. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Time for the serious questions. Why are you running for president?
The last 50 years, working class America has been underrepresented in D.C. And poor Americans have been underrepresented. That's why.
Okay. What abilities would you bring to the office of president?
Mostly, I can work with a variety of people, and the biggest thing is I like to get people working together. This whole idea of partisan politics does not appeal to me. I prefer congressmen and senators doing their job, representing the vast majority of Americans who can't be up for themselves.
Okay. Are there any presidents you have a positive opinion of whom you would like to emulate?
I'm going to have to say former President Ronald Reagan. I like the 8 years he was in office, really great things happened for America. They gave former President Clinton an 8-year cakewalk, in my opinion. None of that stuff was his work. It was all Ronald Reagan's work.
Okay. Name a president or two that you have a less than favorable opinion of, who have aspects of their presidency you would not want to emulate.
A less than favorable opinion? I really don't want to slander nobody. But from what I understand is former President Clinton, he made a lot of deals with a group of people to get elected. And some things were done that I'm not approval of, like mineral rights of Alaska mineral rights being signed over to the Russians. I don't approve of any of that stuff. And then Bush, former president, not the junior, but senior, when he came into office, there was $1 trillion surplus in the American budget. But what he did, instead of taking the surplus, applying it to the national debt, they gave all his rich friends a tax refund. So that would be Bush Senior. I don't like that either. That was wrong. You should have paid off the national debt. That's what the money was for.
Mm-hmm. Are there any functions of government you'd like to decrease or abolish in your libertarian? So I think
Well, this is a tricky one. This is a tricky one, okay? And the Libertarian Party won't do it. We just want to, we need smaller government, more personal freedoms. But here's the tricky one. The federal government employs not just over 2 million people. I think it's close to 4 million when you include the armed forces. And those are all people that have real jobs that contribute to America's economy at whole. I made a concept about that. Now, there's one thing I would do. Like, I've been to a lot of EPA offices doing my environmental stuff, and I see all these people sitting around these offices all day long. I'm saying, what are they doing to justify their income? I would put them out in the field, along with the USDA, National Geographic Society, having cleaned up riverways and lakes and streams, actually doing something for that money other than just warming up a desk. That's my personal opinion, looking from the outside in. So I don't hate it because we have a lot of jobs. I don't want to get rid of any jobs. But let's utilize these resources better. Put these people to work to do what needs to be done in America. Secure our freshwater security, and food security are 2 big issues with me, too. And we've got all these people sitting in all these offices that are federal government employees that could be out there doing things to clean up rivers and lakes, to help people with farms and all that. This is my opinion.
Okay. Are there any functions of government you would like to increase? Is there anything that doesn't exist that you think should exist?
Well, I wouldn't want to increase anything. I mean, as a libertarian, yeah, I prefer smaller government, more personal freedom. And if there's so I think the biggest thing is I don't want to increase the size of any particular government program. But I know that the Veterans Administration is overwhelmed, underfinanced. I would like to find some way to work with all these local hospitals where they would go ahead and treat all veterans for the same money the Veterans Association pays to treat them at their own hospital, which I think will be good. It's because America made a promise, and it's hard to keep that promise to take care of our vets. And we got all these hospitals out there, civilian hospitals. They have a lot of empty beds. Why can't they see them? They don't have to charge $3,000 just to show up. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking. Okay.
Describe your approach, your stance, your perspective on taxes, taxation. Well,
here's what taxes. We have to have taxes to pay our bills. The question I asked the folks in D.C., a lot of people that know that's just forthcoming, where does all the money go? What is the money being spent on? How much money is spent to pay federal employees their wages? How much is paid to... the biggest thing I came up with that congressmen and senators would go in office, president does too. You go in office, you get out of office, you get paid the same amount of money for the rest of your life. And you got 10,000 senators and congressmen not doing anything. They don't deserve $250,000 a year. That's unrealistic. Most Americans get by on less than $25 an hour.
Describe your perspective, your stance on the abortion pro-choice issue.
This is a real neat one. I went to a right-to-life function, and I asked the folks in one order, I said, why doesn't Right to Life put a big billboard up saying, Mom and Daddies, don't let your babies have babies? And they said to me, you can't afford it. I said, what? So I'm pro-choice. I'd rather boys didn't get girls pregnant in the first place. Then again, that goes to mom and dad having the authority to discipline their children without worrying about, trying to children protect the service of walking in the door because you're poor and your kid's free because you're with her or his bottoms influence their behavior. You should have a right to do that.
Okay. What role should our military play in the world?
Well, not the same one. What it has been doing, it's been the police force for all of the oil-rich countries, for Arabia. When we went to Iran, we went to Iran to defend them against Iraq to defend them against Iran, which is Saddam Hussein, which we had something to do with in getting power in the first place. And then later on this year, Iraq, who we said their butt and the Arab Emirates, turns on us and calls us their enemy. In my opinion, our military should be home, not all around the world, watching Arab countries. They're watching their oil pipelines and their oil refineries and their oil pumps. But that's our job anymore. Now, we do need to be. We do still need to be a global police force, but only because we need to know what's going on. Because we're part of the globe. We're not an island unto ourselves.
Okay.
So that was going to take more work to answer that question properly. That's my thoughts right now. We need to stop guarding all the foreign nations' oil lines and their refineries and all that stuff, and start worrying about things closer to home, like on shores and offshore, up to a couple 100 miles and stuff. Okay.
How would you handle immigration and border security?
Oh, my gosh. This is a neat one. If I had my way, there wouldn't be any need for border control. We used to have an open border with Canada. That shut up in 2008. That shut down. I don't know why. Up to 2008, we can go back and forth from Canada without a visa. In 2008, we needed visas. The thing about Mexico, and here's the weird part about Mexico. A lot of folks coming from Mexico are poor, and the reason they're coming from Mexico is the Mexican government wants nothing to do with you. They're telling them you have to go to the United States. We're not going to take care of you. And if I had my way, Mexico and its sulfur-rich oil reserves would be an American Commonwealth. That's probably not going to happen. So my friends, I don't think we should close our borders down, because there's a thing called a Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island. It tells you when that little tablet has to bring in your poor.
Okay.
I mean, that's what America's doing, to help everybody else to work. That's where they're all going to. They're not going to Cuba. They're not going to North Africa. They're all coming to America, because we've always been this promise of a better life. That doesn't need to stop.
How do you perceive the issues of race and discrimination in our country, and do we still face challenges?
Well, here's what I think. Now, I don't see what to show me on the internet and on television. There is a group in America. They're called the House of Islam. They're Muslim. They're predominantly black Americans. And they go around all the big cities in America, and they sit out there with their podiums and their pictures of our images of Jesus Christ, and they call them fag, homosexual, all that stuff. They have pictures of people hanging, saying it's a white man's fault for all the black man's problems. And every time there's a black person gets shot by a white cop, they have a riot comes out. If a white person got shot by a black cop, it wouldn't be a riot. And the reason I feel that is because in America's shores, we have our own terrorists, lone wolf terrorists in House of Islam. They are organized to get these people to start race wars. I don't think race is an issue in America anymore. There's not much in the way of discrimination. And at the same time, House of Islam is there. They're Muslim, and they use this still as a tool cause all these problems that we're seeing. But someone has to organize all these riots, and that's what they're there for. I don't have no proof on that. I'd like to know more, but no one's telling me anything.
Okay. What role should the federal government play in health care? As a field of charity, we all say it ought to be a free market choice. I want to go with that one there, but at the same time, you got people on Social Security and stuff that still need their Medicare. You got people that make less than money, they still need their Medicaid.
if I had my way, well, we have to play some role in health care, but it's like if you're a person and you make $10 an hour and you get hurt and you go into the emergency room at your local hospital, you're charged $3,000 going to the emergency room. Okay, and you charge $100 to get a cup, actually $65 to give them 2 Tylenol. This is just ridiculously high. And then the hospital is complaining, all these people came in here and they won't pay their bill. No, because we're making $9, $10 an hour. You charge $3,000 just to go to the emergency room because you won't treat us any other way. So we have to be involved in health care somewhere, but I think it needs to be a cooperative effort where the insurance companies got to get on board with the pharmaceuticals and the medical association. And we got to come together. You know, we got to have like if you make $10,000 a year, you shouldn't be expected to pay $3,000 just to go to the hospital. I think it should be based on your income. That's my opinion. I don't know how to pull that one off. This whole universal health care reform, what bothers me about that, again, it's called the Universal Health Care Reform Act, but our U.S. House of Representatives, our senators call it Obamacare. And even those over 100 of them, about 600 of them, that could have tore it apart and rewrote, they didn't do a darn thing. They just called it Obamacare, but it did not represent us Americans at all. What they should have done is form committees, tear it apart, and rebuild and make it better. And I still want to see that happen. So, yes, we have to be like the Veterans Administration. That's definitely the federal government, and that's all medical. And again, goes back to my other question you asked. I said, well, we need like liaisons, so that if a military person comes to a civilian hospital, they still get the same care and quicker than they would get the VA. Probably for the VA shouldn't be charged no more than the same price they would spend if they were doing it themselves. Why? Because there's a whole bunch of them, and that's just like a group buying power. It should bring the prices down. So I need to learn more about that one, too. That's why they're looking at it real hard. So there is a part federal government plays in health care. We can't just walk away from it. But we have to. Go ahead.
What priority would you give repair of infrastructure, and what role should the federal government have in maintaining infrastructure?
This is the tough one because, honestly, our infrastructure is falling apart everywhere. But the cities can't afford to replace all the water lines. The states can't afford to replace all their bridges. That question I do not have the answer for, but it definitely has to be addressed because this stuff has to be done, and we're talking trillions of dollars here. We're not talking, a couple of billion. And for that one, I don't have enough dollars on to answer properly. But the best I can say is, look into it. We do got to solve these problems. How are we going to do it? It's my question too.
Some people think there's a conflict of interest between maintaining personal liberties, freedoms, rights, the right to privacy, and gathering intelligence to fight terror. Do you think there's a conflict of interest, and how would you handle this situation?
Well, again, I'm libertarian. I also support the NRA. Bottom line is, if you're over 18 and you're allowed to purchase it, purchase a weapon, keep that thing, learn how to use it. And then if you have to use it, honestly, we can't. Everybody needs to play a part in helping with our nation being secure. But at the same time, we can't be looking at all your emails and stuff like that. It just isn't right. So every citizen in America has a part to play in ensuring that our streets are safe and all that stuff.
Okay. Next topic is kind of a sensitive one, but it matters to a lot of voters. It's not a litmus test. It's just something that really matters to some people. What role does faith, religion, spirituality, etc. play in your life, and what type of role would it play for you as president?
Well, let's start with my life. Even back in the days of the ancient Roman times, they said governments can't control the people without religion. Religion, It doesn't matter what form it is. It's very important to everybody's life. It would play a part in my life because I do believe in praying, and I do believe in talking with other people, that seem to be the right, it would play important parts in that I do believe that, when you're the President of the United States of America, you have to answer to a much higher authority than yourself. And the only way I know how to do that is through prayer and through faith, and to talk with a lot of other people, getting their ideas on the piece. So, religion is very important. I really have nothing against the Muslims themselves, except when it comes to America, I do not want America to become an Islamic caliphate. No, if they want to stay in a Muslim country, move over to North Africa, move over to Saudi Arabia, get out of America, but don't make us try to become Muslim, since we've already kicked Christianity out of our public institutions. We don't need to become Muslim now. So it does play an important part. It would be an important part of my administration, because I really honestly do believe that the Ten Commandments do belong in the courthouse. The nativity scene does belong on the city hall lawns, and I believe that it's okay to have Christian prayer in public schools, because that's what our nation was founded on. And I got to give a head of UCLA, who does a lot of good things for a lot of people. Their money comes from all the separation of church and state stuff. But the truth is, there is no separation. The forefathers simply meant we didn't want to pay taxes to the United States of America. We didn't want to pay taxes also to the United Church of America. And that's the point of the whole separation of church and state. No, they're intermingled, and we still need to keep that Christian practice. We need to bring some of that stuff back and get rid of, with respect to people's right to choose.
Okay, be a forecaster and predict a major problem facing our country in the future that few people or maybe no person is talking about. What would you do to prepare America for it?
Okay, I think the first major problem is our economy. Bottom line is, we need more Americans doing. Look around in your house. Look where everything comes from. Korea, Taiwan, Japan, China. No, we need more Americans going back to work. But that's a big problem. It's not my job as a president. That's the American capitalists. Their job is to put people to work like that. My job is to influence. This is what I want you to do. So that's going to be a big one. We're going to have our economy is going to be further challenging our national debt. That's got to be paid off. I don't even know how to do that. Like I said, I asked, where does the money go? Nobody told me nothing. So for our first one is going to be our people having jobs. It's going to be harder and harder to find a job that pays you enough money to pay your rent. Me too. You've already seen that. Mom and dads both have to work 2 jobs to support their kids anymore. Because that same $20 bill that 1970s buys you a cartload of groceries, buys you a couple of items today. So first one is jobs. You're going to have that, and it's going to get. They're getting harder and harder. But the only way for that to work is for the American marketplace. So you know what? Let's put people back to work. And my second one, there's always been all this talk about the international monetary, about what's going on when America loses its currency, loses reserve status. That's going to hurt a lot. The one thing we cannot afford is inflation, especially working class Americans who work at Walmart and Target and your local gas station. And we really can't handle hyperinflation. So the first problem is going to be getting our national debt down. The second one is getting people back to work. Always has been, but it's going to get worse. There's less and less jobs out there because we got to get away from industrial age thinking and shift our paradigms. It's a big order.
All right. Everybody has things they're good at and things they're not so good at, strengths and weaknesses. What are some of the things you're not so good at, some of your weaknesses, and what would you do to compensate for those?
Okay. My weaknesses? I don't know everything. I would compensate by having a lot of people around me that were a lot smarter than me. I value other people's opinions. The type of government I use when it comes to running a business, I use delegation. I allow the frontline person running the cash register to solve a lot of problems so that the person in the back office doing the accounting doesn't have to deal with it. I believe in government by consensus. So my weakness is I'm not as smart as a lot of the folks out there running for public office right now. But I think what we need in America today isn't someone that's real smart, but someone that's more human. You know, it's had to be out there and had to try to get by on less than enough money. You know, I've been there, done that. I feel the pain. I don't like it. So to compensate for my weakness, I have a lot more people, a lot smarter than me around me. And I have a lot of people who will be able to contact my administration if they have any ideas that come up and may help. Now, I want solutions from everybody in America. You know, so that's what I'm looking for. I want solutions. I want Americans to call them in, email them to us, give us some solutions to some problems, give us some ideas. I want smart people around me that know things that I don't know. That's what I'll need to be a good president.
All right, time for some closing remarks. In 2 minutes or less, tell us why we should vote for you.
Biggest reason you should vote for me is that I'm a working class American. I know I've been there. I'm the one that went to the hospital and really couldn't afford to go, but the only one that seen me is the emergency room, and they charged me $1,500 for the privilege. And I couldn't afford to pay that bill, not a minimum wage. Also because I realized I'm servant leadership. My former leadership is all about you. It's not about me. It's about us. And that would be my biggest one right there. If I'm becoming the next president of the United States of America, I'm going to want that's when America gets to go back to work. Number one, I need your help to run this country right. And number two, we need to go. I've been there. I've done that. I know what it's like to be poor or broken homeless. I also know what it's like to have a little bit of money. So I'm better equipped for the vast majority of Americans that make way less than $50,000 a year per job. That's the one I can talk to. I've been going through what they've been going through for years. And that's why servant leadership, I know what it's about, not having enough money to raise kids, on $10 an hour. I know what that's about, too. And that's why I would be a good leader for the American Republic.
All right. Thank you for participating in the interview. Thank you to my listeners for listening. Be sure to check back in the future for more candidate interviews. Have a good day, and remember to keep informed.
Can you get a heads up to go check out my Facebook page?
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us.
Check out my Facebook page.
All right.
Stephen Childs for President 2016 to 2024.